Welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat Podcast, y'all. I am your host, JoJo.
And I'm Tyra.
Ooh.
Or I mean, Daira.
Yeah.
I said I was
Go
going to
ahead,
start.
Dadai.
Oh my goodness. I've had so many nicknames.
Somebody asked me, like, what I call her.
Mhm.
And, I mean, other than Babe, which is so funny because she used to be beasting in the beginning for me to have, like, a pet name for her or something. And I'm like, okay, so what's mine? All right, then. But I call her Sugar Honey. That's my sugar.
First of all, we got to talk about how there's a new Netflix show called The Ultimatum. It doesn't come out till May 24th. But isn't that crazy? Because they finally have some queers on fucking Netflix.
So for those of you who don't know and don't watch Love is Blind, at the end of the Love is Blind reunion, which was a fuckery, by the way.
Terrible.
It's fun. It didn't matter to me because I was going to work that night, but she was like waiting for the life of her for that shit to like for Netflix to get it together, and she ended up not watching it until the next day. But besides the point. So for those of you who don't watch it, they ended up putting a preview out at the end of that reunion, showing the trailer to the new Ultimatum, Queer Love.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's a gay
We're
reality
lesbians.
TV episode series. Finally, whatever. I feel like we don't have too many live queer series.
Mm-hmm.
Most of which are just like regular TV series or whatever. So that'll be cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what our expectations to like what a queer reality show would look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in terms of like the Ultimatum.
This will be definitely one of the first ones, because I feel like, well, okay, reality shows is different than a dating show.
Yeah.
This is a dating show.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming in as couples. For people who don't know, the ultimatum is like you come in with your couple, and basically one of you guys is giving the other person an ultimatum whether y'all gonna be together, as in getting married, or you guys aren't.
Mhm.
So when you go into the show, you basically get matched with somebody, but you kind of get to pick them in a way.
Mhm.
You like get to know everybody. You pick them during this like awkward dinner. There was only one other ultimatum, so we can only compare it to that one. And
I volunteer as tribute.
I don't know why they haven't picked us, but anyways,
We didn't apply. I mean, we did, but it was like for shits and giggles,
Yeah.
and we didn't take it that serious at the time because we were like, they probably already casted. And honestly, I think it is so. I don't know what the secret is to getting casted on like a reality TV, or like how
I know the secret.
dramatic or like whatever you need to be to be seen. But like y'all fucked up when you didn't add me in.
I know the secret.
What's the secret?
You have to be white.
Oh, all right. Well, very far from that. Anyway.
No. But as y'all know, the majority is always white people. But they do have some POC on the show. And yeah, at the end, either you stay with your partner or you stay with your new partner. So it's just like very dramatic. And I feel like for straight people, like they didn't understand the concept of the show. But I was telling my sister, like, because she was, I still don't understand the show. I was like, this is like lesbian drama. Like this needs to be for queer couples, because they are so quick to fall in love with somebody else, and they're also so quick to get married.
Not all, but a fair majority.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited to see it. You know,
Yeah.
It's some type of representation, right?
Right. Yeah, and then they have like a whole Instagram page, and we were already talking to one of the girls who actually went on the show, but they filmed this a while ago apparently, and they just wanted it to come out like during Pride or whatever. But yeah, it should be interesting. But then I was looking at the comments, and people were like,
haters, big time haters.
like, yo, it's a show. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. I love reading comments, and they were like, ew, disgusting.
Just like you could keep scrolling.
They were like, I'm gonna pass on that. Like, why you gotta change it up? Like, where's the straight ultimatum? And I'm like, you guys have so many dating shows. Can we get one thing? Just one thing on a popular fucking stream platform or whatever, like Netflix, you know? So
can't have everything.
Let's see how it goes.
The gays do it, Bubba.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, back to the topic at hand before she rudely interrupted me, because she did ask me what I was saying now. Vacation, y'all. We wanted to get into that because, I mean, believe it or not, we've been on a couple of vacations. I think, I mean, did you vacation a lot before, like, obviously you vacationed before we got together, but like, was it more so friendly vacations, couple vacations, solo vacations?
It was mainly like friend vacations, really. Yeah.
Damn. So you was out here buying and buying on these friendly vacations though?
Stop it. No, I wasn't. I was literally there to travel,
Just
to
there.
explore. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a couple places.
Most of my traveling I did was just like with family,
Mm-hmm.
I think, throughout my life. And then eventually, even when I was in that first relationship, it was just like, oh, my mom's taking us to Florida, let's go type shit, you know? But when I did get old enough to start traveling, I did it myself. I had people like around the way that I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna come stay with you type shit. Like when my best friend was in the military, I was out with her all the time. But vacations, I think most of my vacations are with you. And honestly, we have a good time, y'all. We have a good time. So some of the things we're gonna run through today with this episode, what are the safest places to travel? Where are the non-safest places to travel? You might as well take Florida out of your travel plans.
I mean, they told us not to go.
I'm about to say, I've been seeing TikToks talking about don't come here, basically.
Florida is just like out of control. Like if you live in Florida, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And like I really wanted to live in Florida, and now with all their fucking like laws talking about now you can't talk about LGBTQ topics up until like high school. Like not you can't even talk about it in high school, like until 12th grade. That's it. It's like banned. So you can't say gay, which I think is ridiculous because kids in high school are in relationships, they're having sex, they're queer, and if they can't be themselves,
this is their experimental period.
If they can't be themselves and talk about their sexuality, then what the fuck?
And I feel like as high school, like, them teenage years, like that's your rebellious years. So it's just like, if I'm gonna, be in that rebellion stage, your sexuality is part of that, right? So it's like, who are you to tell these students to be like, nah, you can't be like that,
Yeah.
It's just gonna be part of their that rebellion. So I don't know, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where are the safest places and not so safest places to travel as part of the LGBTQ plus community, places we've traveled and what our favorite places were and stuff like that. So without further ado, tell them, babe, where have we been?
Okay, we've been to Mexico, Jamaica, Costa Rica, the Bahamas, Miami. What else? Canada.
Hawaii.
Yes, that was like a really important one. That was the last one.
I think out of all those, the very like top best ones have to be Costa Rica and Hawaii. That was definitely my top.
Yeah.
The scenery in Hawaii is beautiful. It's like literally shit that you see on TV. Like you think like this is a real life place. Like,
it looks like fake. Like you're looking at it and it looks fake. The
water's crystal clear. The mountains are just so crazy. Like it's so surreal. And Twin actually my best friend sent me a video that I guess she took while we were at the sandbar. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And I'm sitting on the boat and she's recording me jamming while I'm looking at this huge scenery that we have in front of us, of like these mountains and stuff. And I'm just jamming out. And she was just like, look at you living your best life, just enjoying and taking the moment and stuff in. Yeah. So I actually really love that video. But yeah, Hawaii was good. Miami's whatever.
Hawaii was expensive though.
It was.
Like we were blessed to have people to stay with in Hawaii, but like it could get pricey for sure. So
So you definitely gotta have your coins together depending on where you go. Right. Do your research.
Yeah, and the flight is long, but it's not that bad.
So, funny enough, we took our first like vacation to Cancun and that was not even a year of us dating.
Mm-hmm.
That was
That was like 9 months of knowing each other and like 6 months of dating.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
Pretty
like
quick.
right after we moved in together.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Woof, get into it. Aside from like catching flights, you know, not feelings, we also used to travel. Well, not used to. I hate to say used to because I think that we still do. We would take advantage, like if we weren't, you know, flying out somewhere and going somewhere different. We take advantage of like the things that are around us that were like
Yeah.
drivable, you know,
Yeah.
2-3 hours here and there. So I feel like a lot of the local like mini getaways that we've taken is
Mm-hmm.
usually like upstate New York,
Yeah.
PA. Like the last thing we did for our
Mm-hmm.
anniversary was when we rented that dome,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in PA. We did a cabin called the Getaway, which
Mm-hmm.
was like our first.
Yeah, that was our first one, and that was in February, and we started our relationship December,
Mm-hmm.
and we had met September. So that February we went on our
That
first
was
like
our first
getaway.
Valentine's Day, so
Mm-hmm.
you know had to do it big or whatever. And
That was your idea.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was like the first real Valentine's Day I got to spend, like, you know, in a relationship on my grown girl shit. So I was like, I gotta make it like a legit thing. And then we
Mm-hmm.
agreed to like just do it one time and not celebrate it again. And that was a lie because we celebrate Valentine's Day.
And that was the same, like that was the same weekend that I put a picture of us on my social media, and I was like, whoever sees it sees it. So basically, that was like my coming out picture.
She broke the internet. I didn't
And
know
like
that.
if you look, yeah, girl, and then mad comments, of course, you know, people was like gassed or whatever. But like if you see the first picture, I'm hugging you, but I don't know if you see who it is, but you see it that it's a girl. And then if you keep swiping, that it's like more pictures of us, and we were like matching. So gay.
Oh
Like
yeah, when
Jesus
we were out in the
Christ.
snow and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we should go back. I think we want to go back when it's like this time around. But
One day.
yeah.
One day. What was your favorite place? You said Costa
Hawaii.
Rica? Oh, okay.
I think it's like the top two would be Hawaii and Costa Rica. Costa Rica
Same.
was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Costa Rica was like you know when you go to an island, like I feel like we've been to so many like tropical places. You know, Cancun was nice. When we went to Cancun, we got a suite that had a swim out pool. It was like the most luxurious gayest thing we could do. It was all inclusive. It was nice, but it was like post COVID. So it just wasn't a lot of people there. So
I feel like that happened also with Jamaica. Like we were traveling when it was still required for you to like have your like vaccination or like your test. And I remember when we were coming back from Mexico, we didn't have a test because we were like, oh, like I think we're gonna be fine. No, we had to get like a PCR in the airport, which had to take some time. So thank God we got there early.
Yeah.
So it was like a hassle, and when it came to doing activities and stuff, I feel like we couldn't do much because of that.
Yeah, so but all in all, Jamaica was fun.
It was okay.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like. We didn't go out as much, but I also don't regret that because in Jamaica it's illegal to be gay. So I kept looking at her like, watch out. Watch out. These people might come crazy at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. But they're super homophobic over there. I mean, you could still go out, but like when you go out, please be cautious because you could end up in jail. That's serious.
Be, you know, observant and, you know, very into your surroundings.
Right.
Say. What was your favorite place though?
I would say Hawaii too, and I really like Mexico. Like I've been to Mexico. That was my second time, but I will go again. There's so many different places, and I feel like
we didn't do that much.
No, we didn't. But the people are nice. The food is good. Like it's a vibe. Like they be ready to party and drink. So I feel like every time I go to Mexico, I have one night where I'm just like blacked out. So I remember the first time I went to Mexico, I went with two friends that I worked with, and I was living in Miami at the time. I was in grad school, and I was dating this guy, right? And I was just not a shit person. Like I remember I went to Mexico, like barely slept. We got there in the morning. Soon as we got there, like we put our bags, like we couldn't, the room wasn't ready yet. We started drinking. Like we put our bathing suits on.
As
We
you
started
should.
drinking and we didn't even eat. Next thing you know, we're drinking. We got
Setting
2
yourself up.
cups. Like it wasn't all inclusive either. So we're just spending money. And I was texting the person I was dating, but then I stopped. Girl, I was so drunk that whole day. And then, like, I blacked out because I don't remember what happened. And I remember the next day, I woke up and, like, I had some clothes on, but the clothes that I had on weren't my clothes. It was, like, the weirdest shit. It was, like, backwards, a mess. I could tell that there was some throw up in the bathroom. It was bad. And, like, my phone was dead. And I'm like, yo, what time is it? Like, what day is it? Like, it was bad. And then when my phone finally turned on, like, I think it was probably like 12 hours where I went MIA on them. Yeah. Like, I was just like, yeah, I got too drunk. Like, I was literally
That's
not
crazy.
shit. Yo, yeah, maybe even more than 12 hours. But then, so I went to the front desk with my friends the next day. And the guy kind of like smirked. So my friend was like, what's funny? Because I feel like you have something to tell me about what happened yesterday. Because we all were so drunk. And he was like, you guys were done up. Like, he was like, so I'm the tallest one.
As you should.
I'm the tallest one of the group. And they were like, the shortest person was trying to carry me to the room. And she was like struggling with me. They said that I took a nap like on the chairs, the beach chairs. So then my other friend, and I'm like, damn, I'm just sleeping here. Like my phone was just in God knows where. And I've been in so many situations like that where I think about it and I'm like, wow, that was really unsafe in Mexico at that.
When she's drunk. You know what? You got your karma.
Why?
I don't want to say you got your karma because technically when I was in DR, I just didn't have service.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, she was not having it. When she didn't hear from me, I went to DR for a wedding, and that's when I had just started dating her, and I was hitting her up through Wi-Fi, but it was so fucked up in that resort that if I left the room, the Wi-Fi cuts off. So if I go to the lobby, I gotta struggle to get this Wi-Fi back on. So we were talking about something, and I ended up stopped texting her, like, because we kind of like had an argument or something, and I think like it was just like, all right, well, I guess she sleep. So I wasn't blowing her up anymore, but I also had no fucking Wi-Fi. We were partying in the lobby, and she was livid the next day, like what you was doing, like lighting my ass up.
Okay, but first of all, we've grown.
Yeah.
Number one. Valid. Number 2, there was something that happened that made me wall out. So you can't say half of the story without saying the full story. So I'm not gonna say the full thing, but she had done something.
I didn't do shit.
No.
Something was done.
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? Let me know if you're serious about this, because if you're not, we could cut it short right now. I was like, I'm not playing with you, girl. Like. What happened? I was just like, maybe we'll say it on Patreon, but I was just like, like it was giving toxic a little bit, and I was like, I get it. Like sometimes when you go out, you can't prevent how other people react, but it just left a bad taste in my mouth. But so talking about that, how do you feel about like couples who travel separately?
I feel like it's not for everybody. I think it really depends on the status of your relationship and, you know, where you guys are at. You know, are you guys do you feel like you're in a good, safe place, a healthy place where you feel like I can trust you enough to go and be without me for a few days in a whole nother country, you know, country, state, continent, whatever. But I do think like you got to be on the best, like at least the, you know, good terms. Yeah. You know, that trust has to be there ultimately, because that's really what it comes down to. Right. And you have to be comfortable with having that separation time with your partner. Because if you can't, you know, have that separation time with your partner where they could just go out and, you know, have dinner or something with their friends, let alone a whole vacation, you know. But I do think like it's necessary. Let them go on their friends trip or whatever, you know. It gives you that time to, again, separate, and then you kind of miss your partner when you're away, especially when you're truly far away. And there's nothing more that I want than for her to miss me. Like, and because she takes like trips with her family. She goes and stays at her sister's in Florida a lot. And I think she doesn't realize how much she missed me until she's actually gone and away from me. And I'm just like, yes, go.
Yeah, I definitely thinks it gives you guys that space to kind of like miss each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it's natural to like obviously want to go everywhere with your partner, like want to go on a vacation with your partner. But if it's like a family thing or like a friend thing, like I feel like if your friends want to go on a vacation with you, they want to go on a vacation with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before, like they don't want to be the third wheel. Like
Mm-hmm.
as much as maybe they love your partner, whatever the case may be, like
Yeah.
at times I feel like it's necessary for them to just be out with their friends, you know? So I don't see anything wrong with it, but I feel like you need to have a solid relationship. Like you guys need to be healthy. You guys need to be able to communicate. Like you guys need to be okay with a lot of things. Like I've dated people where like I've gone out to have drinks and I feel like that was a problem. And I'm like, why? Like I really
What
can't.
did you think I was gonna go on vacation and do though?
Like,
you know?
like be real.
Yeah.
Like really
Like
though.
I came out here to have a good time.
Mhm.
Respectfully, you know?
Respectfully, yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything that I feel like would jeopardize my relationship just because I'm away. But it doesn't mean like you have to be the boring one, you know?
Yeah, like I feel like there's nothing wrong with that really.
Yeah.
But it also depends on their actions. Like how did they react to the situation? Like let's say your partner tells you, I went out to the club and this girl tried to holler at me.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely turn her down, like fuck out of here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like how did you respond to it? Because I think that some people struggle with rejecting others, but it's like if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't feel bad to be like, I have a partner. Like, I'm not interested. Like,
and there's a way to do that also, like in a way
I
where
mean,
it's
yeah,
just,
you
like,
don't have to
be
be
an
stank.
asshole.
You don't
Yeah.
have to be stank, but
Unless
like
they keep like throwing themselves.
you
like,
shouldn't feel obligated to like talk to people either.
Yeah.
Because people be taking advantage of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have a girlfriend? Okay, like we could be friends. Shut up. Like really. Shut up.
Yeah.
So yeah. How often do you think that like couples should go on trips together?
I don't know. I mean, as often as you want, if you can. But I think, at least
Bi-monthly.
Just
kidding. Just kidding.
We can't even manage that.
Right.
No, which is crazy because when we first started, like the first year we were together, I feel like we did so much. We were on the go at all times. We took like 3 vacations in that year. And yeah, because we did Bahamas,
So
Cancun,
honestly,
and Jamaica.
I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think that we should have done that.
Oh, because it set the expectation a little too high.
Bro, it set the expectation up here, right? So at that time, I had a good job. I was getting paid good money. I had the ability to work overtime. Like I got promotions like so quickly. Like I started off at like 50 and then got so many promotions after that, like 10K and then another 10K and then another 10K. Like it was good. And I feel like since I was dating you and we had shared expenses, like I felt like I had more money kind of, but like I was spending that money on traveling. You were also, but I feel like save your coins, honestly, like because then it's an expectation like moving forward. And then I feel like some people might feel like they can't do it that big no more. And in my situation, I got laid off and now I have another job that pays me way less. So I feel like that lifestyle is like a little bit too much for me right now.
It's on the back burner now.
Right. It's like I can't afford it. And I'm also not going to go in debt just to like live this lavish lifestyle. Like it's just not going to happen when I have certain goals that I want to accomplish, like fucking buying a house one day. So yeah, it's like I feel like we kind of overdid it. And nobody told us the damn thing.
I don't think that we overdid it. I think it was only like that. I mean, at least for me, like for you, like you said, you know, with the job that you had, you were flourishing at the time, so it made sense to you. And me, even though she was making more than me, I could fucking afford to go on vacation. Like, yeah, let's do it. I've only been waiting for this shit for a minute. Like,
but I also feel like you had a lot of time to save up because you were working at that job for so long while living with your mom. Yeah. So I feel like for you, it was like, I got money. I got money saved.
Oh, yeah, but that shit didn't last forever.
Yeah, right. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I think, like, it was good. I think it kind of bothers us now because we're like, damn, like how we go from that to like we kind of make it happen from time to time. So it's kind of a disappointment, like we can't do that like we did. But I do think that it was good because, you know, we got to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't regret it at all. I think it was a great time. We know how we are on vacations.
Yeah.
And then I think it's the fact that we're on that same level, you know, to finally, for me, it was like to finally be in a relationship overall where it's like, I'm not the breadwinner, or I'm not the one who's pulling all the weight. You know, I have someone who I can share the weight with, and we can do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me. I was just like, wow, look at us doing like, you know, grown girl shit. So that's what that was for me. I think it was just like, oh man, like, all right. The expectation is set in the way that, oh, like, you know, I have my travel partner.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I never regret traveling, for one. That's one thing. However, I just wish we would have done things differently. That's all. Because it's like, we could have gone to all these places. Maybe we could have spaced it out a little bit more. Or like try to save a little bit more money, or like, I don't know. But I think that sometimes lesbians get so excited when they first meet somebody and they want to book these trips, they want to go on these vacations, like, pump the brakes.
I want to show you to the world. You feel me?
But like, pump the brakes a little bit. Just a little bit. And I was doing some research. And it said, so when is it too early to go on a vacation? According to a new survey, couples should wait until they've been happily together for 7 months before going on vacation. We were together for how long? 6 months? 4 months?
When we went to Cancun?
No, Cancun, it was more like 9 months. But
or the getaway.
The getaway?
I
that
think
was like
December, 3 months.
Yeah, so
3 months. But that was like a local vacation.
I think that waiting 6 months to go on a vacation is doable.
Yeah, but I didn't count that as a vacation. That was like a getaway.
Yeah, but still, yeah, I mean, but it's still something. And I feel like one thing about going on trips is that you really get to see how people are. And sometimes it's just not the vibe, bro. Like, sometimes it's just tragic. Like, you're like, wow, who is this person? And I've been on vacations before, like before you. And I was like, wow, what the fuck did I get myself into, bro?
Like, I think the only, like, most of our vacations have been good and fairly memorable. I think it's when we get too drunk, it's either her or me or us at the same time, where it's like we just argue. But it was like it didn't even have to be an argument in all actuality. It was just because when you're drunk, you're so, like, it's like the emotions are heightened, your thought process, you're taking shit personal. So, you know, we had a few of those where we like had one argument throughout the fucking you know, time away. But we don't let it kind of ruin the vibe, you know?
Honestly, alcohol really just be ruining shit.
I literally realized that every time we had drank too much, that's when we argued.
Yeah, and in previous situations as well. And like, not only that, but like, I get migraines like crazy. And I remember before, I didn't have the proper medication. Like, these doctors was just like, yeah, take Tylenol. But like, my migraines were so bad where it was like, yo, I can't get up. Like, it's like the light bothers me, noise bothers me. Like, I feel like throwing up. Like, it was really bad. And I would go on vacation, drink crazy, and then have a migraine the next day. Can't do a single thing.
Yeah.
Can't, like, when I went to that trip in Mexico, I mean, I was like 21, first of all. So let me be crazy. But like, we went what is that? Zip lining the following day? Girl. I was about to throw up from up there.
Bold for that.
Bold as hell. And like, they were drinking again. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't drink again.
Now I think about, we did. I was about to say, did we even drink in Hawaii? But we did.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did.
We have a lot of stories, but we're not sharing all of them. Okay?
But anyway, to answer your question, I think at least, you know, 2 times out of the year is pretty good. You know, it's like the bare minimum for,
if
like,
you don't have
couples
kids
to vacate. Yeah, sure. But like as to at least do a couple vacation. I'm not saying all vacations, but at least like, you know,
Or
two
like
couple.
or like a getaway, like we
Yeah,
said, like
like
you
one
don't have
maybe
to take a
local.
flight somewhere,
No,
but maybe you could drive somewhere
couple
and stay in an
hours.
Airbnb or like
Mhm.
a cabin or something like that, and really try to like spend quality time together where it's like it's just you guys. Like phones don't matter, TV doesn't matter, like play games, ask each other questions, like really get to do things that you don't get to do on the regular. Like you really got to take that time to like cherish each other and like the time, you know.
It's just being present
Mm-hmm.
for me. You
Yeah.
know, being present is like such a valuable and vulnerable thing
Mm-hmm.
for a relationship. I actually, I don't know, I'll be losing my mind, but
Losing your mind. Well.
yeah, like when I just feel like we're not present.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
where we're kind of just, and there's times where we're kind of just in the same space, but we're not in the same space. You know, we're not really paying attention to one another, or like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're kind of just there. And sometimes that bothers me because I just feel like we're roommates.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, you know, it's gonna be like that. We're not always gonna be like fucking glue and shit, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's when you have to, like, when you feel like those spaces where you're a little bit disconnected,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because we have our own shit going on. I think that's when you have to take the opportunity to, you know, be with your friends. You
Yeah.
know? But yeah, two vacations maybe out the year. I think that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
What's your vacation personality?
What is it?
Oh, well, first of all, she is the booker, y'all. Not saying that I don't book, but I think in the beginning I was, and then like now I'm just like, I gotta let you figure it out. I'm gonna throw some money. You can tell me what you thinking about, and I'll tell you, yeah, I'm down. And I kind of just let her book it, depending on what it is. But,
Why do you let me?
I think because ultimately, I think it's that like people pleasing in me where I'm just like, I want where you whatever works for you. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy to be going on a vacation. I think for the most part we pick destinations together
Mm-hmm.
and we're good with that. But I think like that us going period is
Mm-hmm.
such a like I'm excited, whatever, that's good enough for me. But I think
Mm-hmm.
ultimately I want you to like be comfortable, and it's the type of,
Yeah.
you know, what you
But
expect.
it's like I really would be comfortable with anything. I feel like it, like I don't have to book it all the time. You could book it too.
Oh yeah,
And you
that's
have
fine. And
and
I
you have
have.
and
I'm
you
about to
have
say. It's
and
not
you
like I
have
haven't.
you have the anyway, so what type of people are we on vacation, like when it comes to actually being on vacation? Like I actually like to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with like sleeping in and chilling sometimes, but at the same time, I really like exploring and going out there and getting out of the hotel and doing things. Like, I would say I'm hyperactive sometimes, you know, and you are the same way.
I'm the same. I'm like,
Hmm.
what's next? What we doing? Where are we going? Like, all right, we going to drink till our room is ready and our luggage gets up there.
Uh-huh.
But the next day, like, what we doing?
Yeah, but I'm getting to a stage where I don't need to be drunk every day.
Yeah, it's just
It's just,
chilling.
then I'm gonna feel like shit.
And
Like, it's
something
just
about
not
all
it.
inclusive alcohol after a while, it's just
I'm
not
actually I'm
that.
actually over the all inclusives as
Yeah.
well. Like I feel like we've done so many. Like I want to actually go somewhere, go outside, eat from different restaurants, like
Mm-hmm.
get to pick the food that I want. Because with all inclusives, they be painting this picture for you, and then you get there and they be like, well, this restaurant is actually only open on Mondays and Wednesdays from this. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are y'all saying? Like, so it's not an all inclusive.
So
So
you
it's
really
like
just gotta
kind of
eat
annoying.
what's open or what's ready
Right,
and
like you
stuff.
gotta work on their time
Yeah.
and like what's on their menu. Like I'd rather just be able to like pick what I want to eat, and I feel like eating good food on vacation is so important,
Mm-hmm.
so important. So that's why I'm kind of like over them.
But it all depends because I feel like with all inclusives, it dictates whether or not you want to spend money. You
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
so if
Of course.
you want to eat all the good food and want to experience the
Mm-hmm.
outside resident or resort life, you're gonna pay the
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
money.
yeah.
So you have to be okay with that. But I
True.
think all inclusives are really good if you're, just, you're not. What's the,
Trying to spend that much money,
yeah.
and it's also just a safer way too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like us being by ourselves to going somewhere alone where we have to like travel by ourselves, get on public transportation, get on taxis, and then all inclusive, you don't really got to worry about that unless obviously you go out to do, you know, activities and things like that and excursions. So it's like a safer option. But in the hotel, it's not all safe either. We know crazy shit be happening too. So
All right, so we got a list of like the safest and not so safest places to travel as part of the LGBTQ plus community. Florida being number one.
safest?
No, the not safest. But
okay.
I'm gonna give you the safest, and I'll let her hit the unsafest. So starting at number 10, Belgium. Don't know where that is.
Northwest Eastern Europe. Most of these places are in Europe.
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, they're just more chilly willy. Number 9, Malta, Mediterranean Sea. I don't even know where that's at either. I really don't know a lot, to be honest. The UK coming in at number 8. Ooh, 7 is Denmark. 6 is Spain. I want to go to Spain.
Yeah.
Which I could see that. 5. That made me think of Elite. Number 5 we have Canada. 4 is Sweden. 3 is Norway. 2 is the Netherlands, and number 1 is Iceland. Those aren't safest. Well, allegedly, according to the internet, those are the safest places to travel.
All right. So, what are the worst places to travel for LGBTQ plus? So, I was doing research, and apparently there are 64 countries that have laws that criminalize like homosexuality, and nearly half of these places are in Africa. Number 1, Nigeria. Apparently, this is the most dangerous place to go if you are LGBTQ plus. So I would stay away from there because apparently they say that you can be up to 14 years in prison for being gay. And sometimes even the death penalty, which is ridiculous that that's even a thing still in 2023. Number 2 is Saudi. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Saudi Arabia.
And it was saying that punishments include 100 whips or banishment for 1 year and the death penalty. Ridiculous. And then number 3, I'm not even going to keep going. I'm just going to stop it right here because Malaysia. So this is the place that looks like the Maldives. It's really, really nice. But that does come at number 3 for the most unsafest places to go. And apparently you could be in jail up to 20 years. For being gay.
Keep my ass at home.
So it's just like, imagine.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. You really have to be careful. Like, one thing about... Oh, and Jamaica's on this list too, if y'all didn't know. In Jamaica, I gotta talk about this because people love Jamaica and we've been there, but it ranks as the worst Caribbean nation for members of the LGBTQ plus community, largely due to their buggery law, which is left over from the colonial era. And then it says that they allow a sentence for up to 10 years in prison.
Including hard labor.
So, like I said, we did go to Jamaica, but we didn't do that many excursions. So we didn't get to get out the hotel that much. So we didn't really experience that. But while we were there, I was telling her, you gotta watch out. Like, you can't, when you do go on vacation, you do have to respect their, the environment, things like that. So it's like, I wouldn't do too much PDA because you just never know how people are gonna react to it. Like, you just have to know your surroundings, because, you could really get hurt and it's just not worth it.
Well, we're not gonna give y'all the rest of the words because it's
most of them are in Africa.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna tell you.
But yeah. So, what are some travel tips you got as you sip on your tajin margarita, skinny girl margarita?
Do your research. Like, if you really want to go somewhere and you don't know if it's safe for LGBTQ, I would recommend like looking up neighborhoods and like trying to stay near that area. And
I think that's another reason why I kind of let you take the reins on shit, because you do a lot of research.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, like when you're done doing your research and you're comfortable enough with it, let's
I'm
get
the type of person that I'm reading reviews. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because what are the reviews here for? It's for us to read it. So I do like to read reviews of hotels. Sometimes they'll tell you LGBTQ friendly or whatever. So I would recommend staying in places like that. Honestly, believe it or not, TikTok has a lot of like resources. You could look shit
Look up
up there,
everything
go
on
to the
TikTok.
comments, see what people be saying. Like it's like you can find a lot of shit on TikTok. Like I said before, avoid PDA. Just be respectful. Like you just never want to be put in a position where someone puts their hands on you for you fucking showing love to your partner. Like that would literally just ruin the whole fucking vacation. Um, bring copies of your documents. There's been so many times where I've heard of people like losing their passports and having to go through hell and back to like get it back, having to pay a lot of money. I told this in the last story, but like when I studied abroad with a lot of people who were like freshmen, sophomores in college, and they were so careless when it came to like their belongings and things like that. Like there was so many times where in Europe they do a lot of like pickpocketing. So like if you have like your pocket in your phone in your back pocket, you know how you just put it there,
Snatching it.
they be snatching that shit. Like if you're in a big crowd, they'll snatch that shit. If you're out eating, there's a lot of out like outdoor
Outdoors
restaurants
dining.
in Europe. And you know, we just put our phone like on the table, we keep talking with who we're with. They come up to you trying to distract you, telling you this fucking story or asking you for money. And while they're doing that, showing you some shit, trying to sell you something, they're taking the phone like right under you. Next thing you know, phone's gone and they're gone. People will stop you in the street with their kids, like talk like trying to I think they're called gypsies. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hopefully, I'm not offending anyone, but I saw that happen and that was really sad because it was like you got your kids helping you steal. Like that is just crazy to me. But yeah, yo, be very careful of your surroundings. Always try to download the Google Maps if you don't have data. I honestly would recommend getting data because nothing is worse than not having any form of
Service, yeah.
communication. And it's just a must. And yo, when you don't have it, we have switched phone plans. They really was trying to charge me an arm and a leg. So you might as well just get a phone plan that includes it, honestly. But if you can't, you know, there's apps out there that you can use where you can like
Or
download
have to
stuff.
get yourself a prepaid.
Right, or prepaid something. Like you need to have some sort of communication or like some sort of map to try to find your way around everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have any tips for them? Maybe about like traveling with a partner. I would say for tips about traveling with a partner, like have some patience. Like I feel like when you're traveling, you do see people's like true sides, but I feel like traveling could also be so stressful, especially if you don't travel out often. Like there's so many times where we're going through security and there's like someone who just doesn't seem to get it. They're going slow. They didn't take off their shoe when they were supposed to. You see everybody taking off their shoes. Why don't you do the same? It's always a thing. Like they say, take the laptop out. They didn't take the laptop out. Like it's like you gotta have some patience because that shit will literally drive you insane.
It's just so funny because you can see who's not the patient one.
It's me, but like yo, you know what? I'm about to pay for the fast pass. What is it called?
I don't know.
TSA pre-check.
Yeah, something like that.
Because I be in these lanes looking at them like we're gonna be here all day, sweating.
Like you got people who do that pre-check shit and still don't be checking.
But yeah, you gotta have patience. You don't want little things like that to just ruin your day. Also, be on time because once that line be wild sometimes. And I feel like I'm also somebody that sometimes is not a timely person, but when it comes to the airport, you gotta be on time. I've missed flights before. It's not fun. You gotta be on time. I feel like you're very timely. And like Jojo wakes up like literally when the alarm rings and she's up. Not me. She's very like prompt with her shit.
When it comes to like important shit, like my job or you know something I is obviously appointed, I have to be on like not on time, but like I have to be like if that's the time I said it, we gotta get up. And I just be too excited to get to like where we're going on our travel days. So I'd be like, yo, let's go. I got everything. We good, babe. You need to get up. We're like we gotta get the Uber. I'll be ready because that's one thing. That's one thing I fear is fucking missing my flight. I didn't pay an arm and a leg, to go. And I want to be there at the time. We had set to be there. So especially if it's a long flight.
Nothing's worse than taking a connecting flight though, because then it's like if one of them is delayed, then you gotta take the next one, and then if it's like too short of a time frame, I don't like connection. Like if it's a major price difference, okay. But if it's not, oh my God. When we had to take a connection to Costa Rica, and then we had to get our luggage and then drop our luggage off again. That. Bro, I was like, what is going on? We gotta go.
Oh no, though. I think that when it comes to traveling with your partner, like you said, have your research done, have some, resources available to you, because you're ultimately going to be in a place where you're not familiar. Be very aware of your surroundings. I'm a person who likes to be affectionate with my partner, especially when I'm living my best life on vacation somewhere. Like, I'm not going to stop being myself and loving my partner just because people can't kick it. But I guess I am a little bit more reserved to an extent. And again, that comes with being aware of your surroundings and, how people are acting. And what else? I think that's it. Yeah. Enjoy it. Don't let the differences that you guys have, like, you're going to argue at some point. That's what people do. Something's going to bother you. Leave that shit for home or talk about it and get over it. Don't let it ruin your whole vacation.
Not on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not on vacation.
But yeah, that's it for our BAECATION episode, y'all. We're going to get into this quick family meeting or whatever. Go ahead, because you can read that shit.
All right. The title of this one is... Hold on, let me make sure I don't have no tahi.
This title.
Yeah, that's a new thing. So this is going to be... This family meeting question is about Christianity, religion, and them being in the LGBTQ plus community. They said, I will get straight to the point. My partner feels as if she cannot be bisexual and also a Christian. She and her friends are getting closer to God, and I love that. But her friends basically put into her head that she'll be going to hell and that she's disobeying God's words because she likes girls. Now she has a fear in her heart of choosing both God and me. She feels like if she chooses me, then she's choosing... I can't talk. She feels like if she chooses me, then she's choosing me over God. So it has her in a tough situation. I tried explaining my personal experience to her, but nothing seems to work because I have once been in her shoes. I'm sure many of us in the community have. Her friends love her, but don't support her lifestyle. Wow, the S's was getting to me. If her friends love her, they would support her lifestyle. Listen, we've never done an episode on like religion and all of that. We're not super religious people, but we did grow up in like, family where we went to church and things like that. So I feel like this is so tough because when it comes to religion, it's like the same thing with politics. You can't tell them anything. There's nothing that you can say that's going to change their mind. They have their beliefs. This is their belief. This is their moral. This is what they go by. Like,
their belief will always come before anything else. It doesn't matter who you are.
Like, I feel like unless she... I don't want to say it, but like unless she kind of disconnects from the religion or like disconnects from those friends. But it's possible. And we see it. There's religious people who are gay.
You don't have to disconnect with the religion. I think you just have to disconnect with the people who have their own ideas of the religion.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if they aren't, with your lifestyle, that's okay because it's not their life. It's not for them, I get it. We want to keep the people in our lives that are important to us, but it's just like, if I can support you in all your endeavors, whether it's, the best to the worst, and it's just like, we aren't the same, we not on the same page. I can't do that for you if I can't have that in the same breath from you. So I feel like you can still have that connect with God, and you can still have that version of religion that you want. It's just who you do it with and who you're sharing that spirituality and that religion with, because people really, when it comes to religion, it's really hard. They really just be trying to take you out. It's always like there's a this or that. It's like there's always that like that ultimatum, so to say. But it's just like it doesn't have to be that.
I dated someone who was very religious. It was a man, and he even bought me like this like religious book by this like pope or whatever. I don't know, but honestly, it was a big issue in our relationship because like I'm not that religious, and I feel like I would talk to him about things and try to vent about things, and he would bring up God all the time. And I'm like, this is not about that. Like, this is not about that right now. Like, I'm talking about my feelings. And at the time, I just didn't want to hear it. You know, I just did not want to hear this crap. Um, and at the time, I wouldn't say I was not religious at all, but I had like really, I was really disconnected from religion because I had lost like my nephew. So I was just like, religion and me right now, we're not fucking around, so please don't bring it up. So I feel like it's kind of tough to date somebody when they are very religious and you're not. And for me, it just didn't work for many reasons, but that was one of the main ones. So this is tough, but yeah, honestly, if her friends love her, why can't they support her lifestyle? I think she really needs to question if those are her real
Even
friends.
if you don't support the lifestyle,
I
be
hate that.
respectful.
I hate
Be
that
like
whole word.
know your place. You know, at the end of the day, just be the friend that she needs you to be. If you can't support that lifestyle, okay, then listen, I can't be there for you in your relationship, so to say, or like, you know, I prefer if we didn't talk in depth of your relationship because I don't support that sexuality. But ultimately, I think, I mean, which is hard because I still feel like when we need our friends, it's due to, you know, it's our relationship is part of like our relationships are part of that. But I just feel like beating shit into her head.
But her as a partner, how should she like? Because we're not like she probably still gonna keep those friends, and we're not talking to the girlfriend. But her as the partner, how can she?
I mean,
work with this.
I don't know how you work with that. Again, that's a conversation between you and her. It's either you or her friends, ultimately, so to say. You know, she's been in this relationship for how long?
It's also her or God. It's also her or God because she's choosing. The girl saying she's choosing.
But she's not. It's not between. It's no. It's not between her and God. It's between you and the friends because she can have God and not have the friends. She can have God and her relationship. You know, that's not the problem. It's the friends. I don't know, but I wish you a lot of luck with that, and hopefully it turns out in your favor and you guys work it out and work it through, and like, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know if you're religious, but maybe, you know, you kind of tap into the religion alongside of her. Maybe that will make a difference. Obviously only if you're comfortable with it, but if you're not, it's okay, you know, but you got to do what works for you. But next question. Another queer breakup, y'all. Whew. God bless. Lately I've been feeling like I want to break up with my girlfriend. Good start. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells every time we talk because she always reacts negatively to just about everything I do or say. I love her, but I don't think this is the way a relationship should be. There are more bad moments than happy moments. The good moments are great, but they're rare. What should I do?
Oh,
That's.
I mean, you said it for yourself, though.
Yeah.
Wait, the fuck? You said it for yourself. Like, oh my God, when you're in a situation like that where there are like more bad moments than good, you really gotta sit down and be like, yo, I just don't think we're compatible.
I feel like most times, you know, right? You're telling us this, right? You're saying it. So I think, you know, sometimes we already know in our hearts and in our heads that, all right, maybe this just isn't going to be long term enough like I wanted it to be, or like you said, that compatibility isn't there. And sometimes we look for validation elsewhere to either paint the picture for us to stay or be like, nah, you should leave. Absolutely. You know, you kind of already know that answer is my point, but that is hard. Stepping on eggshells every day at that, I hate that. Like, when we get into like scuffles and it's like that, it's like the air is sucked out of the room. I legitimately cannot deal with that shit. Like it's I'll be so stressed, yo. So to deal with that every day, wow, my fucking mental health would be in the gutter. Yeah, you pretty much already know where this is headed, where it's going, what it is for you. It's okay to love someone and not want to be with them. You know, I love you. I'm not in love with you anymore. These are the reasons. Sometimes you have to pick yourself first.
Yeah.
So
breaking up with people is hard.
It is. It's not easy at all.
Mm-mm.
I never had it in me to do it, but you learn.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Deuce, mother goose.